Welcome to our second stop on our Lotus Space tour, where we are in Color Country. Color Country is the area I worked on in October, in which I built the whole area in only 2 episodes. This is one of my biggest projects that I have ever done in such a little amount of time. So as you can see right there, we have our bridge that we crossed to get to Color Country, and we are met with a welcome to Color Country sign. I really like the sign because it gives off the great vibes that I was hoping it would give off, because I wanted this area to be extremely natural and give off kind of a country vibe to it. As you can see, we have so many flowers everywhere and a ton of custom trees. Each one of these trees were handmade by me. There are no trees in this area that were natural Minecraft trees. They are all custom built, which was a lot of work. And yeah, I did not want to build trees for a while after building so many trees around. But when you come up to this area, you are met with this site. We first have our pen of llamas, which we have one for each of the different colored carpets, since carpets are colorful. I really wanted to add those in. And we also have some skeleton horses, but we also have this one right here, which is Ellie. And if you don't know who Ellie is our llama from Minecraft Skyblock that we did with Seaman, and she came out of a portal over there, and so now she lives in the llama pen in Color Country. But then right here, next to the llama pen, we have this giant mushroom. I originally built this to just have something in this area, but I ended up turning it into our flower shop because we have so many flower farms, and people were like, why don't you sell flowers, Squid, if you have so many flower farms? So I made a flower shop with all of the flowers that you can get. Each of them are 1 diamond for 4 stacks. And then we have green dye and brown dye for 1 diamond for 1 stack. Right next to the mushroom, we have a field of our pitcher pod plants, as well as the torch flowers down there. I added this little field area since these flowers were new to Minecraft, as well as because you have to actually plant them to get the flowers. So we just have a field for them, and I think it looks nice. Definitely gives off a very nice decoration. And then of course, right next to the field of those flowers, we have our sniffer pen, which we have a ton of sniffers, and I added some rails and minecart with hoppers down in the bottom to pick up all of the seeds. I ended up taking them out because we have so many of these, it kept getting filled up. It was really cool to have this here because the sniffers were new, so it's a nice little addition to Color Country. Then we have a path this way around the sniffer pen, which takes us over to a area with a little pond here with some tropical fish. I really like this pond because of the leaves and fences on it. It makes it very natural. I added a lot of ponds around Color Country, and each of them are different, so that is really cool. I love that you can do different things with ponds. But then of course, this way we have our little treehouse that Chesby built for us, which is supposed to be the Winnie the Pooh treehouse, I believe. A nice little interior in here. Chesby did a really nice job with this, and it definitely adds a lot to the area. But yeah, thank you to Chesby for helping build something in Color Country, because yeah, this area was a lot and all of the help I got was very appreciated. But continuing on to the next path past the llama pen, we have way more trees, and we have this little turn right here, which leads us to an axolotl pond. As you can see, this one is also different because we added coral in here, but we have all these axolotls just swimming around, very cute. Then on this path, we have 2 ways we can go. We can go this way, or we can go this way. So we're gonna start by going down here into Pond Pavilion. This is the area that Seaman built for us. I basically asked him to build like 2 houses in this area, and he ended up building a whole village just to help me out because I was stressing a lot when building Color Country and trying to get it done within the small amount of time that I had. So he built all of this, which I am really thankful for, and I appreciate Seaman a lot because this turned out really nice and added so much to Color Country, which I wouldn't have done if it wasn't for him. So starting over here, we have this little pond pavilion gazebo, which you can come in here and just look at the area. It looks so cool. Looking from this way looks really cool with the hanging signs. Also the pond pavilion area, I have not shown it in the videos. I showed the different houses, but I didn't end up showing the insides of each house. So now you guys will get to see the decorations in here because Seaman did a great job decorating each of them to look different, but also just simple to just get something done. So the first building we have is a clock tower. This one has a really nice little porch to it using hanging signs. So you can just look over this edge right here and it looks really cool. Inside we have this little area that's decorated with bookshelves and carpet. We also have this little shelf here, and then you have this cool little staircase that goes up into a bedroom, so someone who is working at the clock tower can live here. And you have this little glass thing right here, which is really cool as well. So right next to the clock tower, we have this little house right here, which is probably one of my favorite buildings in this area, just because of this little shelter path right here. I think it looks super cool and I love just walking under here. But I believe this one is the library, but you walk in here, you have some bookshelves over here, you have a little seating area, and you have this super cool staircase. This is probably one of my favorite staircases ever because you have the fences and then carpet on it to make you go up, which is really cool. I would have never thought of doing a staircase like that. But you just have a lot of bookshelves over here and a little area for a balcony, which is really cool. You can look over and see everything as well. And then the building right next to it is the building that has the hanging sign banner thing right next to it, which is really cool. This hanging sign thing is really cool. I wanted to do something like this, but I really didn't know how to do something like that, so I'm really glad that Seaman added this to Color Country, just because it makes this area look really cool. And this area is built around a pond, which is why it's called Pond Pavilion. But you got a little bell right here. And then inside you have just a very cozy area. You have some little pictures of Petal and Stella. And then you have another cool staircase up into a cozy little bedroom area with this really cool window. I really like that window. That is really cool. Continuing on, next to this building, we have this little camping area right here. It has one of my favorite additions to this area. We have this log mini block with an axe on it, which is really cool. I love the use of the mini blocks with decorations to give it some life, but you just have these little RVs right here. And we even have a special present, which is from a present scavenger hunt thing that Skipper did for Christmas. I kind of just wanted to keep it there because it's kind of just like a little Easter egg to that event. But then next we have this little path bridge thing, which is also really cool. I love this. Also at night, as you can see, the area looks really cool. Seeing the lanterns reflect in the water is just really cool. But continuing on, we are met with this mushroom house, which is a very special house because the resident of this area is Jimmy Lee Frog. So Seaman finally moved him in here and he is living his best life in this mushroom house. He also has one of the presents from Skipper's Christmas thing that he did, which is really cool. But upstairs we have Jimmy's little bedroom. Of course, sadly, he can't get up here because of the ladders, but he seems to be really enjoying this area. Right next to Jimmy's house, you have this little pond area with 3 fountains, which is really cool. It's not much, but it adds so much to the waters to make it not just plain. But then you have the last house, over on this side before it wraps back around, which this house is cool because it is a pot with a cherry blossom. The amount of variety of the houses in this area is really cool because some of them look alike, but they're really different. But then there's some houses that are completely different, but they still really fit with the area. So in this house is really cool. Oh, yeah, okay, apparently we have a rabbit living in here now with a nice bed, and you can see there's some roots from the cherry blossom tree. So then you're met with the end of the pond pavilion area. You can either go up that way or you can come back around, which we are going to circle back around because there are a few more houses that we need to see. So right here we have this little shed, which is empty, but the outside is really cool. It's just a little small building to add something to this area right here. But then the final building of Pond Pavilion is this rabbit house. This rabbit house has a nice little porch over here with a seating area, but inside this is probably the best house because this is home to our rabbits. So we have Butter, Honey, and Jelly. These were the 3 rabbits that were in the area when I was building it, so we decided to give them a home. So the rabbits have a lot of pictures around, as you can see. They've got a little kitchen, and they have this ladder up here to a bed with some carrots and Stella's face right here watching them. So now we are going to leave Pond Pavilion because we are done looking at this area. So we are going to go back up this way that we went before, and we are going to continue on the next path. So over here, we are starting to get more into the farm area. So we have this nice farm for some glowberries. I really love this design of it, and it definitely works great for a glowberry farm. And then continuing on, we have this little flower stand right here. This is a design completely by me. I kind of took a design I saw on Pinterest, but I made it into my own, which I really love. I am super happy with how this turned out. We have all of the saplings on here with some coral and spore blossoms and all of that. I am just super happy with how that little decoration turned out. And then we have a path to go there. We have a path to go down there or this way, but we are going to continue this way. We have a little campfire area right here. We have another axolotl pond, which I love this pond. I love how it's risen up, and we have some drip leaves in here, which is super cool. Then across from that, we have a picnic area, which of course you can't have a little country area without a picnic place. And then down you can see the path that takes us back to Pond Pavilion. But we have this little area back here with another pond, which is a kind of geode pond with some axolotls. And then we have this little swing right here that you can just look at the pond, look at the area around, which is super cool. And then over this way, we have an area that takes you to a dead end with another picnic blanket. Now we are back to this path right here. If we go straight this way, it takes us down to the river and to this little bee area right here. I love this. It's like a really nice little area for just some beehives because we have the bee nests in here, but also just normal beehives. And then now this is where we are going to start getting into our flower farm area. So right here we have our flower farm storage building. I really like how this building turned out. I love the block palette and just the shape of the building. But walking in, you have all of these cocoa beans growing for brown dye. And then back here, we have our 2 tall flower farms. And then up the staircase, we have all of our chests with all of our flowers, our dye, and some bone meal, as well as a furnace area to smelt the cactus into green dye. We also have these banners that I made with the flower pattern on it, which is really cool, and these areas with our flowers so we can see all of the flowers on the walls. Now, leaving the flower storage, we are getting into the actual flower farms. and why we went and built this whole area up and transformed the flower forest into color country. So I went and built flower farms for each of the Minecraft flowers that you can get from flower forests. Since the flower farms were kind of ugly, I was like, how can you make them look good? So I decided to build flower pots for each of the flower farms with the flower that it produces. So right here we have the orange tulip flower farm with an orange pot. Then over here we have our red tulip flower farm with a very interesting pot using red terracotta, red concrete, and red wool to kind of layer it. Each pot is different from one another, and Seaman helped me build the pots, so they look really cool. I love each and every one of them and all of the colors and designs of them. But over here we have the cornflower flower farm. So past the cornflower flower pot, we have this pond over here with a rabbit statue on it. I really love this rabbit statue. I tried building one and then Seaman went and made it look better, but it is really cute. And across from this, we have our Lily of the Valley flower pot, which I really like. This flower pot is a really cool design. And then straight forward, we have the best and probably most special flower pot, because this flower pot is Patricia pot, and it is the pink tulip flower farm. The path goes around Patricia pot, and back here you have the azure flower farm, which is really nice. I really like this flower pot because it is really small and it really fits the azure flower really nicely since that is the small flower. But then you can continue on this way to this nice little scenic path right here, which takes us to our oxeye daisy flower farm, which is really cool because this flower pot is yellow and white, since the oxeye daisy is white with the yellow center. And then you have two paths, one that takes us over to the obviously super special flower pot because it is the allium flower farm, which is in a special pot because it is a teacup. But then going back the other way to the other path, we have our final flower farm over in this area, which is our white tulip flower pot. But now saving the best flower pot for last, if we go past the cornflower flower pot and we go this way to the edge of color country, we have the dandelion flower pot, which due to the colors of the flower pot as well as the shape of it, we thought that it looked a lot like a jar of honey. So then Seaman went and kind of pranked us and built us Winnie the Pooh next to the flower pot, since it is basically like Winnie the Pooh with his jar of honey. And of course we have these signs. It seems a wild Pooh Bear has found a honey pot. Oh bother, I just want some honey, Pooh Bear. Now basically that is the full area of the flower forest that we transformed into color country, but we did have a little bit of an expansion, which isn't technically connected to color country, but it is on the same area as it, and that is that building over there. So this build right here was a build that Chespy and Rad did for my birthday, in which they built some giant carrots, a really cool rabbit statue, and this little house right here with some mushrooms and a bunch of carrots around, because this is home to probably the best thing I have on Lotus, and that is my giant rabbit Corby. Chespy went and made this model for me. He is adorable and I love him so much. But technically he isn't a part of color country, but this area really fits with the color country theme. I was going to end up going and building more trees around this area and connecting a path over here to connect it to color country, but I did not have time. But then, as you can see, this is the end of color country. you can see the mega base over there, which is our next destination for the next tour video. So definitely make sure to check that one out to see a full tour of the mega base, because I have added so much to the mega base since I went and built it. But that concludes our tour of Color Country. This project was a lot of work, but I think it was definitely worth it because this area turned out really cool and I love it so much. Just getting to walk in this area is just so nice and peaceful, and it gave me an opportunity to work on my tree builds. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tour of Color Country and getting to see it, because I didn't get to go full in depth when I originally built this area, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Our next destination is the Prismatic Palace, so I will see you guys there. Bye!